Welcome, one and all. This is the Peace Dealer. I'm using new equipment right now, so bear with me here. But yeah, I hope you're ready for this webinar because this is where, in the transit of the sky in your life and within, things get very deep. Things get intensely deep, actually. Um, this intensity comes from diving much deeper into the realms of emotions. So, first of all, I want to start this off by, I got my cards ready. We're going in this webinar. I want to start off by saying hi to everybody. I'm going to have to start doing that. Thank you for the shirt. The reason why I'm wearing this shirt is Cancer is all about passing on. And when I went to Nigeria, when Jupiter was transiting my fourth house, my grandma passed. I didn't know she would pass, but she passed. And you know, this is her picture right here. This is we all got a shirt for the funeral and everything. But yeah, certain very deep emotional issues that you never really expected to deal with are going to be dealt from the source. And there's really nothing you can do to run away. Thankfully, not everyone runs away from their emotions. And for those of you who've done the hard spiritual core emotional work, welcome to paradise. But I mean, if you have spiritual work to do, that's nothing horrible. That's kind of the reason why we came here in the first place. Regardless, how do you hear me well? Do I sound a little low? Do I sound just right? Apolodite. Now that we've started, now would be the best time. For those of you who saw me live, and let me just stop going over this. First of all, thank you for joining me. Thank you for those of you in the live chat who faithfully come through. Thank you for any newcomers. You're in for a treat. This is actually the webinar that activates all this energy that we've done. And I'll break it down pretty soon. Yes, Toby, this energy is super weird. So because of how I have my camera positioned, I'm looking forward at you, and this is me looking at the live chat, just so you know why I'm looking back and forth. But for those of you who've been faithfully, you know, in tune, you have to understand the value of what you pay to join these webinars. You join me in doing the work, and I don't think I've really like advertised it or like shown that as much as I should have. Like I've kind of made it look like you're just joining me and I'm giving you information. But what do? We do rituals, we heal. That has been a cumulative effect. And this is regardless of whether you watch live or if you watch after we're live. You're still doing the work when you join us and do this. So done the webinar since I've started, you're going to find out that this is going to shift a lot. And when you go through emotional shifts with the ceremonies we do, especially if you also got the ceremony videos, you know, I need you to understand they're very cumulative. And I'm telling you this because some of you are going to start to feel a whole lot more sensitive to the stuff we do. Whereas before, you know what I'm saying? It might have just built because we had just started. So once again, thank you for joining me in this because the power of numbers is very profound, obvious. And you're going to really get a sneak peek of where we're headed into. So I did say in the previous live video to kind of get y'all hip to this that, you know, and like Lulu said, there's no psychic attacks. Like that, we're not going to have to worry about any of that getting in the way. I'm sorry. There's a new episode of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and my heart is finally happy now for my DBZ Abridged people. 59 is out. 59 is out. But anyway, what's very important about all of this, I did advise that this Cancer season ritual, you want to get some alcohol. You want to get some kind of drink. Even better if you don't drink, then that's straight, because that decision not to drink, you're substituting with another part of your willpower. But for those of you who you can drink, make sure at some point, at some part during this webinar, you drink, okay? And please, I know I'm a Gemini, can come across very youthful. I'm being 100% serious. So if you're watching this and you don't drink, you might want to drink for this. Like if you have alcohol, if you have time to go get a beer or wine, I would prefer wine because Venus is still in Taurus, or any kind of alcohol in your system. I will teach you what sun through water signs is for. There's a reason why Cancer and Scorpio can outdrink you. All right. If you really want to inhabit the spirits of liquor, it's really going to aid the ceremony. I'm not telling you to get drunk though. I'm just telling you to like drink. You don't even really have to feel tipsy. Just get something in your system. But some of you may not have drinks where you are. That's totally fine. I remember Apollo was talking. Apollo asked, "Is cannabis just as effective?" Absolutely. Some of you don't drink, you smoke. If you have tobacco, you want to smoke that too. Maybe just one, everything in moderation. We need to take advantage of the water energies, and Neptune's in Pisces. So the alteration of our states is going to align everything. Someone said, or if you're Korean, that's amazing. So keep that in mind. I got some Crown Royal in the freezer. I bought that like, I don't know, 3 months ago. I haven't even opened it. I'm gonna open it now. So I'm gonna wait till I start doing the ceremony part. But other than that, shout out to Christopher Peace with cinnamon liquor and cannabis. So that's what I do. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna wait till we get into the healing portion, and I'm gonna take a couple shots of some Crown Royal. But anyway, this is what makes this very profound, because we already did the new moon in Aries, we already did the new moon in Taurus, we already had the new moon in Gemini. These are the preliminary, these are the fundamentals that get you ready for the real new year. In some charts, Cancer is the first house. Not some charts, but there are some sects of thoughts, it's few, where they will say the real first house is Cancer. I believe it's Aries, but it's just a different way of seeing it. The way this works, because Aries is the first house, then Libra could be the first house, Capricorn could be the first, Cancer could be the first. It's just giving you a different perspective of identifying with one portion or facet first. So we're stepping into the next season. It's summer, the summer solstice. That's going to lead us into the fall, all right? And what's very profound about that in length is we needed to identify who we are in Aries, uncover the worth of that in Taurus, and then align our minds with the words we speak to prepare us for this, because you can't be prepared for this. This is the type of stuff that I couldn't tell you, because you would spend more time worrying about it. And it's like an army general or a president that's not going to tell the populace of something before it's too soon. All right? All-out spiritual warfare has sparked. Like the moon is officially in Cancer. Remember what I said, whenever the moon's in Cancer, you get gaslighted. And this is really sparking this. There's the depth of emotion that's really being more profoundly dug into through just the energetics is inspiring everyone worldwide to really feel into who you are. So this is where we now revisit the Aries lesson. You know, I've identified that I'm a level 27 lightning sage. Like, this is who I am. And Gemini season blessed me with the thoughts of how to explain and express that. Well, the attitude of a lightning sage has to translate in Cancer season. Now I get to feel the electricity. I get to feel what it is You know, what are my emotions? How do I feel about who I am? This is what makes the fourth house in Cancer an extension of Taurus, where you have to have self-esteem. Well, what's the extension of self-esteem? Comfort. When you have good self-esteem, you're comfortable in your own skin and you really start to feel into who you are. This is really hard for me to put into words. I'm doing this. I'm talking. This is actually comical as hell because I'm an air sign with the Capricorn moon. I'm going to talk to you about feelings. Did you see when I was doing Gemini season? I was like on it. Like it was super easy. But, you know, I'm going to talk about feelings. The one thing that I will like detach and suppress from on site. But see, when you have moon on Saturn, you can get away with that. Like people will advise you to be in your feelings and you don't really have to listen to that because it's like, you don't have Saturn on your moon, but it's all good. What you're going to gain from this season is an advancement of your psychic power. So at every solstice shift, it's an activation of power. We've activated the awareness of our power and the identity. Now we're going to activate the feeling. This is the juice. This is when the color gets filled in to where you are. When we go into Libra season, this is when we're going to bring this power to others. And we're going to start dueling mofos. But before the duels, we have the psychic, energetic pettiness that's going to swamp through the veil. And this is why we're going to hit them preemptively with a lot of defense and a lot of, you know, inner work, inner healing, inner fortitude. So one thing about emotions, they can be messy, but they're actually the restoration. Water, you know, I got my Florida water here. Water is what we use. It's a lot of what we're made up of. And it has very powerful restorative qualities. The beautiful thing about Cancer, which I like to call the makeup artist, is that it allows one to really feel powerfully and profoundly into the core, just like Scorpio, of what someone or something feels like, and it can extend its healing energy there. That's why whenever I'm with a Cancer or I talk to a Cancer, I feel comfortable. That's just their aura. It's very holy. That's why when the dark side of Cancer could be very evil, because you're taking that, it's not the water or Cancer energy that's evil, it's the application of it towards light or dark. Shout out to King Mitchell in the building. So that being said, there's going to be different facets to where each person works with this energy. And the real reason why this is like all out spiritual warfare, okay, you need to not necessarily akin warfare in this dimension with spiritual warfare. Totally different. Only thing that's similar is the hierarchy and the ranks. We have attorney generals, which may not be on the battlefield, but do warfare over people's rights. We have actual war generals. We have lieutenants. Just like in the spiritual realm, you have demons who work under devils. You have angels who work under archangels. You have fairies. Don't think that just because Hollywood and Disney paints fairies out to be glittery, blah, 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 blah. Fairies will mess your ass up. Fairies will, ooh. Now I'm talking about the way you really spell it with like the different spell, like the F-A-E, them phase. Fairies will mess your ass up. All right, if you mess with them. Okay, so just approach these beings objectively. Don't let what you see in the movies, you know, make you approach them very, you know, calmly, right? I had to say that. But anyway, it is what it is. And just like there are hierarchies in the real, you have hierarchies. Yeah, they are mad spiteful, Christopher. You also have like hierarchies in the spiritual. But one key difference is warfare here relies a lot on the ignorance of the populace and mass. Warfare here relies so much on propaganda, so that every country's media paints them out to be the hero. Like Korea, China, they're ahead of the game. They're like, we're not going to give you freedom. We're going to kill journalists that tell the truth. You know what I mean? Like, they don't play. It's only in America where you're starting, okay, not only in America, but it's in countries like America that allow for this freedom of speech, which is a huge deal because it's free, because, you know, people, the bad, well, I won't say there's a bad side of it, but you know what I mean? Like, even in a country with free speech, the propaganda is still ripe. It doesn't affect as much people, but you need reasons to enter war. You need interests, okay, where people are at stalemates and people can, you know, yank each other by the balls with sanctions. It's a little different spiritually. And I'm saying that because if you think in a spiritual world war like it's region against region, you're not going to realize the spiritual war that's happening right now is anybody can get it. So it's you versus your friends versus your family versus that random person that you see at the store, because you have to be so solid in your emotional makeup where you don't take sides, you don't play favorites. Anybody in the moment who needs that emotional purging can get it. This is new moon with Mercury and Mars, the magician and the god of war, ready to project them feelings opposite the planet of death. So your attitude, whenever you go in any situation, whether you're about to infiltrate a castle or whether you're about to have a conversation, you have to be willing to die. And not everyone's like that. But if you're not willing to die, good luck. And listen, that's just your attitude. So I'm not saying you have to die, but your attitude, you have to be willing to charge forward to death. And this is deeply emotional. So Mars on Mercury is that irritating feeling opposite Pluto, because now there are unresolved feelings that have to be dealt with. It's squaring Jupiter, is squaring Uranus, so there's no escaping it. And this is like a cardinal portal of power opening so that you could literally evolve into greater feelings, all right? Some of you are loosening your illusions. Some of you have subconsciously held on to certain people because you know you'll have the illusion of love. Love is an illusion. Love is real, but there's a difference between real love and the illusion of love. Attaching feelings to someone that makes you feel good in your imagination because you know that's the only thing that's gonna keep you happy and not depressed. Because once you take all that away, then you start to feel the depth of your feelings. Cancer season is going to bring it all up for the first 10 degrees. Next 10 days is going to be tough. And thank Goddess, because we need this. We need this toughness, because in a few short weeks, we're going to purge of some stuff that we've been stuck on for months. And stuff like, the only reason why we're expediting the process is because Leos have to get ready for their new moon. Like, Leos are going to go through this even more intensely because it's their 12th house. So we need to purge this quickly so that we can now start this new destiny path of love. So before I get into the healing session, I do want to give y'all a short overview. What this is going to involve is from now to next week, we're going to reach a quarter square that's going to go into Libra. This Cancer season is going to be it. Because the quarter square is going to be squaring Libra and Jupiter. The full moon is going to have Pluto. The other quarter square is going to have Uranus. And then it's going to be a dark moon in Cancer before Leo. It's a wrap. We might even have 2 Leo new moons. So everything is going to actually shift. A lot changed the last 3 months. Now we're going to take those changes and push forward cardinally with Cancer. There's a very intense door you're going to walk through. And I'm trying to say it's going to change, but the change is happening now. So it's going to shift so much. And it's going to, like, a lot of you have been wanting to shed that final layer of the onion, release some seals. This is it. This is it. Michael Jackson. This is it. This is it was the musical he was working on before they killed it. I mean, before he died. But anyway, if you are a fire sign, if you're an Aries, if you're a Leo, if you're a Sagittarius, then you're doing emotional purging. If you're an earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo, you're undergoing emotional calibration. If you are A air sign, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, you're undergoing emotional programming. And if you are a water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, you're undergoing emotional identification. The emotional identification is coming from examining your feelings and identifying which feelings reflect you and which feelings need to go. The emotional purging for the fire signs is very straightforward. What feelings do you have to purge? What feelings have to just... For the earth signs, the emotional calibration is going to have to do with what feelings have to be calibrated so that you can connect with others on an even emotional level. It's going to involve a lot of Virgo fine-tuning how strongly you express your feelings to how not you express it. And then, of course, the air signs, you're going to be programming your emotions. You're going to let the feelings come up and you're going to say, this is how it should feel. This is how I want to feel about this, all right? Utilizing the strengths of what you can accomplish with each. As the moon transits and gets up to this Libra square, it's going to pass through Leo, it's going to pass through Virgo and give us a sneak peek of what this new karmic chapter of love is. But before we're ready to have courage in our hearts and love, we need to work on our feelings and have that sincerity. This Cancer season is conjunct, the new moon energy that we're carrying is Mars and Mercury. So people are blunt with their feelings and intense, like their life depends on it. And it's going to require you be sincere. It's going to require you say how you really feel about other people. This is why if you have a moon in Capricorn like me or a moon in Aquarius, you're Gucci. You don't have feelings for other people. You're indifferent. So you don't have to worry about offending anyone, since that'll offend people. But for those of you passionate and emotional people, you're going to have to open up about how you really feel. And it's not going to be pretty. But let me tell you something. What's pretty about Moon, Mercury, and Mars? There's nothing pretty about that. And Cancer in the battlefield, that's bloodshed. That's so much bloodshed. Opposite Pluto, you're going to have to go at people's necks, because if you don't, they're going to come for you. And this is where I'm saying, in this Cancer season, you're in a spiritual warfare, and cardinal, it's projection wars. This is an unveiling of projection wars, to where even a lot of you do this battle mentally. Like your mind is projected in places, and your thoughts you'll be reacting to, you think you're schizophrenic, you're doing battle in different dimensions, where you're circumventing situations that would have happened now, in the moment, because life is beyond this space and time. So people don't do it mentally. So people, all happens internally. Okay. So just keep that in mind, because the projection can be coming. What you may think you're thinking about, someone could be projecting. Social media brings the warfare to your face. Like outside of social media, someone could look at your picture. Someone could think about you. You're feeling that projection. And then on the spot, you're dealing with it there. You're not waiting for you to see them in their face. That's just in case some of you get triggered. That's what's happening. Okay. So don't feel like you're crazy, you're just getting triggered. Once we pass into Libra, this is going to take this emotional energy, and this is where we're going to be tested on how sincere and balanced we can be. So that once we travel to the full moon, the great purge, this is when we pass through Scorpio. Let me tell you guys, that moon in Scorpio is going to be everything. That moon in Scorpio is going to be everything. You're not going to be only aware of your true feelings of the sitch, but the moon in Scorpio is going to key you into the depth, and then it's going to be trining Neptune, whoa Nelly. So that being said, it's going to come into the light in Sagittarius and then purge in Capricorn. So for those of you who purchased the webinar, we're about to go into the healing session. After the healing session, we're going to break down by sign what to expect. We're going to go a lot more into what the tribes are doing. And we're going to pull the oracle cards. I got Osho Zen this time. I got the Tower. And I got Choose Love. For those of you who are having sound and video issues, it's going to be on your end. So keep asking the chat just in case, but everything on this side is Gucci. And some of you, like Nasiha is a Sag, like she has a Scorpio moon. So some of you are gonna get interfered. So let us know if you're getting interfered. We'll send you some energy so that you will see how it works. A whole lot of these spiritual dynamics are going to make themselves clear because we're in warfare now. There's no more time for trickery and games. That was Gemini season. A lot of y'all are now super aware. And once you see things you can't unsee, this now is your signal like, okay, I'm in the game, pops, or chief, or coach, and we're ready to move in. So that being said, before we get into the healing session, yes, D, you can start pouring your wine. I'm gonna go get my crown because I'm really serious about this. I'm gonna suspend my moon sign or my moon sign, and we're gonna get jiggy with it. So another key feature of what's gonna happen is we're gonna do a banishment. Gemini season, we did invocations because we had to get your mind ready for the BS that you're about to go through. Some of you about to go through some straight BS. And you had to go through Gemini season so your attitude could be right. Because Cancer season, you're going to have to feel things you don't want to feel. And your attitude from Gemini season is going to get you through like, oh, it's all good. I remember who I am. I remember who I am. I'm going to get through it. All right? Just letting you know. Just letting you know. So there's a darkness within you that is evolving. For those of you who have not suppressed your dark side, you're the winner. For those of you who you have, this is going to be a battle for your life because that seal is going to release and it's evolving. So you have to let it express itself. And that's really the part of the projection war where people aren't going to have power over their darkness and they're going to be projecting it at others. And you have to clap back. Last thing I'll say once again, this is not the time for you to play Mother Teresa, or even Mother Teresa's a gangster. This is not the time for you to play, I need to heal everyone. You're going to have to look at people emotionally suffering and let them suffer. Because sometimes what people do is they always go to their assistance when what they were supposed to do, what that person was supposed to do was sit in their own suffering and learn how to heal themselves. But if you keep on healing them, they're not ever going to learn how to heal themselves. And then when they're in a position where they have to, you screwed them over because you kept pampering them. This season, let people suffer. Once again, like if you're a moon in Capricorn or moon in Aquarius, you're not gonna feel bad. We let people do that all the time. Sometimes we even slice them and say something insensitive. If you're a moon in Cancer, if you're a moon in Pisces, it might not be because it's not. You guys think that moon in Cancer, it cares a lot. Moon in Cancer will feel it. So they're like, damn, I need to help this person so I don't feel this empathy because it's dry. Moon in Pisces will feel it too. It'll be like, damn, like, I don't want to feel this. I have to help them. Sorry, you gotta let them suffer. You have to like guard yourself. You gotta let people suffer. Okay? So their dark sides can teach them something. All right? Word. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get my crown. I'm gonna play some calm music. That we can jam it to. And then we'll start the healing. Alrighty. So how is everyone doing with, oh nice. How is everyone doing with the connection? Do you see and hear me? I see some people are having like connection problems with like the sound or video. So I just want to make sure it's clear before I resume. We lit. All right, cool. Ooh, someone has shroom tea? Nice. Toby, I can't answer that for you because that's what this cancer season will teach you. Good question, though. Good question. I'm not even gonna, I thought I had like shot glasses, but we're just taking it straight. So, let's just gather our energies real quick. Since we're starting off with the healing, this is going to be very intense. All right, cool. We still have battery. So get comfortable. I've tried, a Libra made me some psilocybin tea once before. It was heavenly. He barely even used a lot. They're good with moderation and balance. So, let's start the grounding process. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, even the moon signs this time. Feel the earth energy grounding from below, coming up to your crown. Feel your energy grounding with your willpower, invoking this energy. Oh, nice. And as you ground the energy, picture the white light coming from the sky representing our collective energies coming from your crown down to the earth. We have now grounded the group chat. And now that we've grounded the group chat, I can finally drink this. Does anyone in the live chat know if apple mixes well with orange soda? If not, I'm just gonna take it straight. Finally, the air tribe, Gemini, or not finally, next the air tribe, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. This is going to be a little bit different. All right, yeah, I'm not going to then. Cranberry Sprite, thank you. I love orange soda. I do. So instead of saying positive affirmations, my lovely air tribe, what I would like you to do is to invoke empowering statements that bring out greater psychic power. Now, let's just say it's basically like of affirmations, but really tie in affirmations to I feel powerful. I feel this. I feel emboldened. I feel great. I feel alive. I feel amazing, right? Instead of the usuals, use the keyword we feel, I feel. Alternate between I feel and we feel, all right? And of course, one thing to differentiate between this is that earth and air, you actually want to now feel this process. And then water, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. I want you to project from your heart chakra healing energy to the live chat and to everyone. Whenever I do this part, I start to feel something, so that means we have some potent water signs in the building. An extension of this now, I want you to beam purple energy from your third eye into the live chat while picturing white light coming from your crown, filtering into purple. And then I want you to envision a deep bottomless pit that you're just directing your healing energy to, while also simultaneously directing to the live chat and doing that to the eyes. Do as much as you can, but y'all are good. You'll be able to do this. We're healing at all three levels. Yep, basically. Finally, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. First of all, I want you to spin around 21 times, but go to the left, spin leftward, and then as you're spinning, feel the spiral of energy like a cork gaining and having you gain energy each time. And if you don't have to do this physically too, if some of you don't want to do this, do it in your head. Trust me, it'll work. 21 times to the left, but feel power spiraling from the earth, coming to your crown, raising up, all right? After you do that, invoke a spirit guide, a god or a goddess, all right? But it's very important that you feel this. This is why we're bringing this into Cancer. You want to, the first 3 seasons, I just wanted you to do it so you get used to the motion. You really want to feel with each rotation, the spiral, like raising your vibration. And know that each rotation is like a lot of power you're bringing up. What we're trying to harness is the feeling of this. And now what we're doing is allowing you to, at length, start to understand your Nen, your mind force, your aura, your energy, okay? After you spin for 21 times and you feel that energy brimming in your aura, put your hands together, have love and gratitude in your heart, and then send that energy to us too. So from Cancer season forward, we're gonna have you project your fire now. Before we just had you flare it, but it's warfare. So we're gonna have you like, so now we're gonna be healing with the water and we're gonna gain energy from the fire. So keep this up. While the water is healing and while the fire is projecting, everyone also simultaneously kind of gather your energies for the next 5 minutes and meditate. Okay. And while you're meditating, feel your aura, feel your energy. You don't have to do anything, just feel it. And feel how you feel, whether you don't feel anything or whether you feel happy. Register the sensations that come through. Water sign moons, you're going to be feeling what's happening. Everyone else is kind of register whatever sensations that you can. I'm going to drink. It's my sensation. Oh, snap. Ooh, Jay just finished the Greed Island finale. That's what's up. That volleyball match is everything. I had to watch it 2 more times just to get the gems there. And yesterday, I just watched the whole Chimera Ant arc again. So if you haven't seen that yet, Jay, it's about to get real, super real. Shout out to Becky Rose feeling peace in the chat. Shout out to Apollo90's Third Eye Burning. That's what's up. Thank you, Matt McDaniel. Thank you, Matt McDaniel. Trust me, it's very. The reason why I have to have the fire sign spin around is because your energy. Like if I had to spin around, I would have to spin around 100 times just to generate as much energy as you do. 21, just because you have the spirit of fire. It's amazing. It's amazing. But once again, we're not just meditating. Try and feel your aura. Try and feel your energy building, but really feel it, okay? If you're like me, you might not really feel that much, and it may be mental. If you're water, you may really feel this. You may really feel this. So keep feeling it and building it up. What's going to make it a lot easier is the presence of others in a live chat who amplify our psychic ability. Thank you, Matt McDaniel, for selling that, Leo. No wonder I'm starting to feel a little more vibrant. Or is it the crown? I'm just joking. But yes. All right, got another 2 minutes here. You could tell my chakra is lit. Ah, nice. All right. Chrissy's feeling it. That's what's up. The dizziness that some of y'all actually spin, I'm starting to feel it. I think I felt Nenpor's opening last night. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. When I did that sweat lodge and ceremony, they put us in a sweat lodge where we had to like be like in a sauna, and they put coals, and that opened my pores, activated my Nen, which means mind force. And it happened in the Institute of Mental Physics. The universe is just like, here's your sign. So I'm grateful. But this ceremony alone is gonna be a lot. So far, okay. Good job to everyone that has spun around, that is healed. Before we go into the world healing part, air and earth signs, spend a good 1 or 2 minutes to give gratitude to the water and fire. So water and fire, just chill. I'm gonna send you some healing energy to balance it back. Much gratitude. Thank you, Aries. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Sagittarius. Thank you, Pisces. Thank you, Scorpio. Thank you, Cancer. Thank you, Crown. Thank you, Alcohol. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Some of you can still send for the next minute. So, the main purpose of this is to circumvent what happens when people reach dark parts in their heart. And worldwide, people are going to have the decision to let the darkness overtake them. They can let that Pluto opposition hit their Mars and be like, screw this, I just want to fade away. Or they're going to rise above it. Letting you know right now, majority of people are going to let their dark side rise above. And that's not going to happen instantly. Cancer is passive aggressive. It's not until we get into Libra season that these intentions will be made real. And you're going to see a lot more vigilantes pop up, but you're also going to see a lot more social terrorists. And don't look for bombs. Look for very salty people who don't have others to help understand their feelings, lashing out the way they know best, which is still not best at all. But what we're going to do is send a preliminary wave of healing energy around the world. We're just going to keep it in this solar system. We're not going to go beyond Mars. I'm talking to some of you Leos and Aquariuses who are on this heal the whole universe shit. Just focus right now on the world, okay? Please, Sagittarius, I'm talking to you too. Pisces, some of y'all are just so macro. You'd be like, the world? I'm gonna do the whole universe while they're doing the, no, no, no. Just do the world, because your focus on the world will intensify it versus dispersing it across the whole universe. That being said, everybody watching, before we send it to the world, now, what we did right now was generate all this energy, okay? We're all going to consciously push it with the intent to heal the world. So I want you to think of 3 people right now, 3 people who are close to you. If you don't even have one, that's okay. But just think of at least 3 people who you want to heal. 3 people in your life, and it doesn't have to be just 3, it can be more than 3. I want you to think of everybody that you want to send this healing energy to. The reason why we want to focus is because of all the people we have in the chat, those people you're focusing on, you're going to send that energy, and they're going to be markers, right? We have people from all over the world right now. So the people you focus on all over the world are going to be markers that you're going to send, and they're going to bloop, 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 while simultaneously also sending it to the world. But if we just have an image of the world and we send it there, it's not going to be as strong as if you have like 3 people that can directly get it. So while we're sending it to the world, we're also going to be sending it to at least 3 people. And we're going to be doing this. It's 8 p.m. here right now. So from 8 to 8:10, we're going to start this. Okay? So feel this energy. And now project it to your loved ones while projecting it to Mother Gaia. And as you're projecting it, I want you to feel love birthing from those feelings. I want you to put yourself in their shoes where you feel them battling with emotions that they cannot deal with because they're very negative, because they're getting projected negativity by beings they can't even see, while also resolving emotions within, getting hit from all angles. And I want you to feel this healing soothing them. I want you to feel them getting soothed. Listen here, I need you to know this works. This is no different than a distance Reiki session that people do, but it's intense because we have like over 40 people in the chat doing this. So keep that in mind, all right? So send it to these people, feel them being soothed. It doesn't have to happen the way you imagine it, but just know it's working. We had water signs heal us, so we're borrowing their power, unless you are a water sign, all right? So send it to the world. Think of the world situations we're going through, okay? Think of the global issues that we're having, nothing political, which is subjective and an illusion, but real social issues. Kids starving, orphans on the street, kids being sold into sex trafficking. Real issues that politics won't even touch. Enough, all right? And really send healing to these people. Send healing to people you know with relationship issues. Send healing to people, you know what I'm saying? This is why we had to fill our cups and heal ourselves so that we can now share this. All right, so let's continue for the next 9. And now freestyle. If some of y'all want to light sage, I'm a light sage right now. Shout out to Demir Life. She hooked it up with some sage cones. If you want to light sage, if you want to light more cannabis, if you want to get in your zone, this is the time to do so. After this, we're going to start more divination and a more astrology explanation. Ding. Let's do this. Oh, nice. Amanda Panda. If any of you are crying or getting the feels, this is good. This is really good. As I'll speak of right now, shout out to Jay in the building, lighting Yerba Santa. As we're speaking right now, the feelings, we have some Scorpio and Scorpio moons in the building. So what they've done is they're uncovering the layers of death that you thought you can hide from them. No. So if you're crying, or let them go. This is a purge. This is part of that purge. And feel good doing it, because this is a good thing. Especially if you're having to experience some very traumatic feelings. Ooh, we gonna double up. Thank you, Spirit. I feel it. Spirit was like, put 2 in there. Put 2 in that motherfucker. Yeah, I can start to feel the crown hit me up. So good. Okay. All right. I don't feel like crying. Does that mean I don't have to purge as much? No, good question. No. Everyone's purging. Especially since you have a progressed Cap moon. That's why I don't feel like crying. I got a progressed Cap moon too. And mine already went over Pluto. So if yours isn't over Pluto, man, D, I am a lightweight. Like, I don't drink. I never drink. Even when I go out, I never drink. Being a lightweight saves money. That's my Taurus and my Capricorn. So it is what it is. I had some sake. Can I still feel? That's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right. You have a Gemini moon, so don't even talk to me about feelings. Don't even talk to me about feelings. It is what it is, though. Mike, does this feels apply to your physical body ailments? Yes, because your physical body will feel pain and experience that as well when it's an extension. It's kind of like reflexology, when you'll have certain pains that highlight spiritual issues. So that's an extension of Virgo. That's going to let you know the place you want to focus on as well. So great question, actually. People get offended at my laughter, but it's my natural reaction. I feel that. I know. I feel you. But yeah, we're 4 minutes in, so let's continue. Well, I got all the most hit signs. It's hilarious. Yeah, Virgo rising is going to make you super sensitive to your body, and your Scorpio moon is going to make you hypochondriac. Scorpio is, my sister's a Scorpio. When she has like a cold, she acts like she's dying. Oh my God. And it's like, girl, chill. Like, you're not gonna die. You're not gonna die. So, but Scorpio moon, I can understand, because that's just like feeling it really intense. But yeah. No, my sister's a Scorpio. She getting exposed. She getting exposed. No ifs, ands, or buts. someone's got a 12th house Virgo moon. Still got 4 minutes. Let me take one more of this and put this back in the freezer. I've hit my limit. Wow, your grandpa did you like that, bro? You are joining us. You're a part of this ceremony. That's the real energy right here. I don't know, you know, like if you're a Scorpio, please roll call. We're doing rituals with a Scorpio here. Scorpio's unconscious, so it's not fire, it's not air, you're not gonna see, but it's deep stuff happening right now. If you're a Cancer or Scorpio in the live chat or Pisces, please reveal your presence, which Scorpio isn't gonna do. So out of all the Scorpios in the live chat, multiply it by 2, there's gonna be like more that's just like, I'm not gonna let people know I'm here. Oh, that's wise. So see, we have like already more than like 2 Scorpios, and we got Scorpio rising and Scorpio moons. So that's better than drugs. Like they gave us their healing energy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful. Scorpio risings count. It's just not as potent as the Scorpio sun. You know what I'm saying? But the personality already channels energy like that. So yeah, it's definitely potent. I mean, it definitely counts, rather. So we got some water in the building. Okay, we got 1 more minute. 1 more minute of healing. Strongly advise you get your crystals, your stones out. Oops. All right, whatever. Get your crystals though if you have any. Like, hold them so you can ground, because we just did heavy energy work. Some of you may feel drained. Full Metal Alchemist is the shit. Have you seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? That's my question to you. Have you seen Brotherhood? I think this is citrine. I'm not sure. I'm kind of crystal illiterate. I don't know if this is black term, but all right, y'all. So let's get into it. Like I said before, we're entering a very profound shift when it comes to the awareness of how we really feel. We're now mapping out a new cycle and phase of sincerity that's going to last for the next 5.5 years. I'm very glad Dee brought up Full Metal Alchemist, because that's a show that involves a lot of sacrifice. It involves alchemy, where you have to give of your energy to manifest it. And Aries is where we charge our energy up. Cancer is where we feel out what it's going to express before we direct it out. In Libra, one thing Hunter x Hunter, the show, really highlights very well is that when people develop aura abilities, it has a lot to do with their personality. The manifestation, word, because of the cloud. The manifestation of their aura is, shout out to Yada in the building. The manifestation of the aura is going to have a lot to do with their personality and with who they are. And we got a specialist in the building. I can vouch for that. You're a real specialist. And what's going to really help you get past this season is how well you acknowledge your feelings. Every single one of you who is here right now is a master at some level. Okay? When I do webinar, like this is how I kind of, we got a conjurer in the building. Shout out to that anyway. When I do stuff like this, it's testing. Like one thing about my moon and Saturn is a tester, right? So I'm going to do certain things that differentiate I don't want to make it the real versus the less real, because we're all real in this equation. It's going to separate the real from the specialists, like people who are like that step above, okay? And what's important about this is we're doing real work. And the work that you take from this webinar, you go back into your life and you express, okay? Some of you were here, full moon in Sag. Some of you were rocking with me, okay, during the new moon in Taurus, full moon Scorpio. So those cumulative effects, like if you have taken at least one webinar before this, it's activating a lot because it's all cumulative. It's all cumulative. So keep that in mind. You have an unprecedented awareness of how this energy is expressing itself, not so that when you go through the ills and the challenges of the world, you let it get you down. A lot of you are masters. My intention is that you see, I'm not really teaching you things. I'm just breaking down the astrology for you so that you can take this forward. It was cool Aries season where you were aware of who you are. It was cool Taurus season where you're planning season manifesting. It was all right Gemini season. When it's in Cancer season now, you need to understand what I'm telling you. You're taking onto the battlefield. The 4 signs on the battlefield are Aries, Cancer, Sagittarius, and Scorpio. And this Cancer season is having to deal with the inner feelings and intuition you have, the seed of the soul that you have to acknowledge. Because you might think that you're fearing that you might get raped or that someone doesn't like you, and you cannot suppress it. You have to listen to it. All right? For the next hour and a half after that, you might be very, 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 very confused, but you have to sit with it. Some of you may have to spend 2 days meditating on what your feelings mean. Spend that time. It's worth it. For you first timers, you Gucci. All right? Just know moving forward, it's cumulative, and it's good that you got it here because we did the first 3. Now we're on the second 3. This is like the next chapter. From Cancer, we're harnessing and directing the first 3 of those emotions so that we can open up our hearts and step into profound love so that we can change the reality of our life in Virgo and then start again at Libra. Okay? Shamanic breathing. I do have to try that. I heard that's dope. Ooh, my nose chakra. So regardless, the reason why I'm saying this, and a lot of people who are here I've given readings to, so I can vouch, like, there's a lot of masters that are watching, that are participating, because you're not just watching this, you're participating in this webinar. Really, really take this attitude of being on a battlefield forward with you. I want you to and it's hard to say this because some of you already do this. So for those of you who I'm saying what it's confirming, carry it forward. I want you to, moving forward, picture you around yourself in an energy field. All right? Just like there are magnetic fields and electrical fields, you have energy fields that carry all those properties. And really start to feel out to it. Some of you may really feel Aries have defined energy fields. Like they'll be able to tell how far their energy goes, to where if they walk a couple meters, they know when someone's going to be in their field. Cancer have like N. Theirs goes wide. Like if someone comes into the door and makes no sound, they'll still sense it. Scorpio's like that too. So you really want to be mindful about how profoundly you feel. And if you don't feel, that's good. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. You're focusing and practicing flexing a muscle. So, I mean, even Ichigo, even Goku, even Naruto, they weren't always good at sensing energy, all right? But with practice, you know, well, they're different. They just got like hack bullshit power-ups that made them sense too much. But the key here is with the focus of it, you know what I'm saying? Some people, some people, like Cancers, like Virgos, like they're so sick, they can sense people's states away. They just have to focus on their energy. And these are the themes that we're wanting to bring up, all right? And kind of encourage for you to harness moving forward at great length. With that said, let's hop into the Peace Mobile. We're having this new moon right now, and it's gnarly rifidific. Once again, I'm going to say it again. It's gnarly rifidific. It's unlike anything you might have ever experienced. And I really hate to be, first of all, let me make sure y'all hear me. Do y'all hear me right now? Do y'all hear me well? This gnarly differific energy may have a lot to do with how powerfully you're setting the seeds. All right, cool. You're setting the seeds for this new emotional awareness. So let me break this down for y'all, because this is not only a new emotional awareness, the intention you're setting is to feel who you are. Right now, let's set the intention to feel into who we are, okay? You're not only feeling into who you are at great length, but what you're doing is understanding who you are. So I may think I know who I am as a 27 level lightning sage, understand where my feelings come from. Now you're going to set the intention to feel it. And not only are you setting the intention to feel it, but you're also gaining a mental understanding of this, and you're going to act on these mental understandings with passionate emotions. But it is going to be opposing Pluto, and it is squaring Libra, and it is squaring Uranus. Even though the one thing with me as an astrologer, if I was an astrology teacher, it does not matter the orbs. Okay, see this 2 degree and see this 27 degree? They square it. They square it. If this was 27 degree, it'd be a direct square, but some people would not consider this a square because it's not up to 10 degrees. The peace dealer says that's erroneous. They square it. They carry in the energy, they square it. They in squared rooms, okay? So keep that in mind. And not only that, we have a Venus sextile. So this opposition is making this a 28-day cycle of emotional purging. And it's not just letting yourself get purged, it's also fighting back. Mercury and Mars are helping you fight back. Let's move forward now, because something over the next 2 days is going to happen in profoundly. And that's Mercury catching up to Mars. Okay. Look what happens near the end of June. Once the moon passes through the North Node, we have Mercury conjuncting. So from the new moon to moon in Virgo, we have a much more passionate infusion of our minds and our passion blending with our hearts. With how we want to feel. And this is you moving forward into the battlefield. So this is you really having to deal with suppressed emotions that also deal heavily into real time, how you're dealing with it socially. Because the Libra Aries opposition has everything. Oh, look at this. ADD moment. The Libra Aries opposition has everything to do with the radical intensity of your unique self bridged fully forward and balancing with who someone else is. And now this square is, how do you feel about it? How do you really feel about it? Because if you fake, Pluto is going to kill you and you're going to feel embarrassed. So when we move into Leo with the moon, this is helping you feel into what you love about what you feel. And now we're going to segue into what's real. 28 degrees of Uranus is going to manifest the full cosmic identity that you have. While, let's go back, can't make this shit up, y'all. While the moon is crossing over the nodes. It's ridiculous. So this moon in Virgo is going to sextile and make things real while we have this opposition. And not only is it going to do like so, but it's going to ground what we're feeling with how we program and express those emotions with everything we do in our routine and lifestyle. Let the trine, let the grand earth trine that occurs create a new foundation and lay ground with the construction happening on your goals, with the value you'll be building and the real work you do. That being said, as we move into Libra, this is just all sorts of profound, as we have a complete T-square. Mars is going to be opposite when we have the moon in Libra. This is triggering a cutscene. So the moon from new up until this point, you're preparing for a cutscene that's going to change your life and transform everything. This is where you're going to have to let known in the public, where once again, moon in Libra is where you get character deformation. So prepare for that, because this is going to have a lot to do with the real feelings you express, because Uranus in Aries is not going to let you hold back. And this is when you're going to really break bridges or form new powerful partnerships, because you're being super sincere. Super sincerity, okay? I want to see what Charlemagne the God's going to say on Breakfast Club on this day. I don't watch that, but I will watch it on that day. Because, and then the moon's going to move into Scorpio. So let's back up, because the moon actually has to be in Libra to balance where people stand, because when it goes into Scorpio and starts to transform these feelings, water trine, you're going to be planted with a greater emotional awareness. And this is where facets of your intuition will change greatly. This is where you're finally going to have the emotional wisdom to know what your intuitions mean, because you're finally seeing them and being aware of them. And Mercury's going to be squaring Uranus, so some of you are just going to be like saying the craziest things, because you're finally going to acknowledge your feelings. All of the heels of a moon opposition Venus. So that while while this squares and while this is moving into Sagittarius, literally going to be do-si-doing with Venus. So let's pause here, because this is intense. The first quarter square with the moon in Libra is important, because this is going to let you know who you can be sincere to. Who can you express your real feelings to without being made to feel like you're being gaslighted? What the hell just happened? Okay, without being made to feel like you have to be gaslighted or not. On top of that, once it moves into the gateway of the gods and your life transforms again, which happens every season once the moon goes from Scorpio back to Aries, the Sagittarius is going to shift to where we start uncovering the truth of our relationships. Right now, while it's in Taurus, you're really dealing with relationships and purging them with Pluto, whether it's worth it or not. Well, now your relationships are going to transform, because they're going to come out to the truth. And what's the 8th house of transformation of Gemini? Cap. So this is where some relationships are going to die forever while seeding new ones. All right. The ones that you thought might kind of get past that hump, not no more. Not no more. Let's go forward into the morning now. So once the moon is on Saturn, we're going to highlight at profound length the lifestyle of sincerity we have to live. Serious decisions are going to be made as we're now going to key into the last sneak peek before the sun will be in Leo on here. What are the feelings that we have to have so that we can live our truth super freely, so that we can express the freedom of our beliefs while it aligning to the radical truth of who we are, while aligning to the destiny of love for everything and for ourselves and for where we're going with this. How ironic, Mercury starts to sextile Venus. Mercury is like, I gotta catch up to Venus right quick. She's having a fun in Gemini. And the sun is getting oh so dangerously close to opposing Pluto, which, how ironic, by the time it conjuncts, blah, it's already opposite. So trust me when I say this is going to be one of the most transformative seasons of the year, and this is still nothing compared to what we're going to moving forward. So for recap, what this new moon cycle is doing to prepare us for the full moon is it's going to gather up and build up all the feelings that we need to purge before we release down here. Okay? I'm going to say that one more time. We're going to gather our sincere feelings, our love, the lifestyle, the partnerships, the how we deeply feel as an extension of how we deeply feel, what we see with our hearts, so that we can purge the character with the lifestyle. The character that lives out this lifestyle, what about that character and goals have to purge so we can feel more sincerely for real? Powerful. This is the type of transit where people evolve, who do the soul work, who are mindful of their feelings and their emotions. So it's definitely very important. Did my battery die? Let me find out. Oh, my battery died. That's flat. No, it didn't. I still have 2 left. 2 bars. 2 bars. All right, let's stretch it. So that's a sneak peek of the next 2 weeks. How do y'all feel? How do y'all feel? How was that explanation? I hope I didn't leave out too much. This is very important for these next 2 weeks because this is your opportunity to generate. So don't try and do everything too quickly. Really flow with this, like Netero. Right? And not only like that, for the fire signs that are emotionally purging, Aries, you really want to extend this purging to your relationship with authority figures. Everything that the world has rejected about you, purge out, because that doesn't define you. You're defining yourself. Leo, everything that gets in the way of your behavior, any addictive tendencies, any kind of influence that affects your lifestyle and how you feel about such needs to be purged, okay? Sagittarius, your self-esteem. This is very deep because that Capricorn Pluto energy is not letting you escape. Like, it's going to the depths. It's cutting to the depths of your insecurity and having you purge there. That's going to hurt. It's going to hurt because this Cancer season is in your 8th house. But we're going to get to that. In fact, let's break that down right now. So Aries, what you're going to experience, and not only for Aries, I'm going to actually pull the cards now too before we just go to that. So Aries, like I said, fire signs are going to be emotionally purging, right? And you want Aries risings, Aries moon, anyone who carries that energy, be mindful of, be very mindful of all the, expectations that people have of you, your reputation, what people kind of see you as, that's what needs to be purged at length. Not only does it have to be purged, you have to really build a new base of sincerity of how you feel about yourself. And it cannot be, you have to hit the reset button. And it cannot be based off of what other people know you as, because they have an inaccurate understanding. All right. And with this new moon, you want to set the intention to have a new emotional foundation and base. We even have the Four of Cups for you. So you will be emotionally contemplating from situations. And if you have to sit out some stuff so you don't bash someone over the head, please do so, because it gets real out here. Like, people, you can get away with some stuff when you're a kid, right? When you're an Aries, when you're a Gemini, when you have that youthful consciousness, you can get away with stuff. But Cancer is moving into that adolescence. This is where things get serious, and like every step has to count. Okay? We have spiritual connection. This connection has this relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. Oh, it looked like it was backwards though. I wish you could see it real time. So keep this in mind, because with Uranus in your sign, this is what's going to activate this radical, amazing energy for you to really step into yourself, while Libra expands the relationships and room you can do this into. But that's what you're going to be purging at length. Let this energy kind of open up your heart with the destiny that's rooting your sign and Saturn, that's allowing you to harness greater beliefs thereof. And when we get to Leo, you're going to extend this purging, because the fire tribe is going to work together to purge this. And I have to say this because fire can be too independent that you forget that you're working with Aries, you're working with Sagittarius, you're working all together to purge this energy very powerfully, okay? And Leo, you're going to be purging all the influences. Yeah, this is a no more Mr. Nice Guy transit, for real. But you're purging all the energy within your makeup that doesn't help you focus on the work you need to do, so you can get fine-tuned and focused. And this is going to implement releasing a lot of subconscious issues. Leo gets it most intense because this is your 12th house transit. So a lot of you should be asleep, battling this in your dreams. And if you have low energy, especially as a Leo rising, that's why you're getting ready for the greatest eclipse season that we've had in a while. And this is like you getting ready to go on stage for the first time, but you have to have that rest. You have to have that month of rest to recoup. You don't have to know your lines because you're straight up boss and lioness, you know what I'm saying? So you're just going to kind of get it, but really keep it up. Really be mindful, really be careful. And there's an old part of your spirituality you're going to purge so you can step into this new phase. But let me do the rest of the cards for Aries, because I got way ahead of myself. I got the Magician Aries. So this is talking about this new moon, really taking the spiritual work you're doing and manifesting stuff and stepping into this new phase of yourself. But don't push yourself, because the exhaustion is going to come from putting all this work and not getting acknowledged, because people want to judge you before you even have the opportunity to be understood. And that is super exhausting. All right, Leo, the cards that I have for you are the Two of Swords. So you might be, just as Aries is contemplating, you might be closed off. You might not really be in a position to share your love right now. And that's because you're kind of like on hold. Like, you're about to blast the biggest love ever. So you kind of have to be like, pending. So don't feel like you have to make any important decisions. With the Page of Wands, you still want to get excited though. You still want to get very excited about what's to come and how to really harness a lot of this, okay? And take risks as they come through, because this is you getting ready for that new chapter, okay? And of course, we have I love you. These are very important words. These are the words that you want to channel, okay? When you mess people's emotions up because you get them in their feelings because of your love, which is really evil, but it's not. When we have innocence, I'm also going to pull the source, because when we talk about Leo, we talk about the source. Talk about the source energy. But the card that I have for you is Innocence. See how he has that grasshopper? He can kill that grasshopper, but he just lets it reside on his fingers. This is a master. You know what I'm saying? Meditate on this image. Because above all, you want to carry this innocence through to this month. Sagittarius, you're going to do heavy, hardcore purging on your self-esteem because your intimacy is what's transforming. And the greater self-esteem you have, it's going to allow you to really push forth a whole lot of your magic into much deeper areas. The reason why you have to purge the self-esteem is because you're going to have to get intimate with people you cannot trust. And you have to have enough self-esteem in yourself because you're basically gods and goddesses. This is why I'm like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, you cannot be a goddess or a god, but then still be worried about someone betraying you. You're a higher being. Like, you're supposed to take that to the chest and deal with it. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, let Cancer, let Gemini, let Taurus deal with that, all right? Because we have to get intimate with higher beings. No, you can't. You can't have your cake and eat it too, all right? Yes, purging self-esteem does mean getting physically fit. You can let working out be the medium for purging, all right? So the cards we have are Love Makes the Difference. Love can help heal past hurts and provides a sense of security, self-worth, and importance. And that's very important because you're going to have to put that in action. This is a philosophy of love that Leo is teaching you where you have to really live it. You have to go to the dark, spread your love to people who can like betray you and, you know, be like, hey, my love is more powerful than your hate and enmity. That's how it is for Sag right now. It's not easy at all. And you're feeling that. So make sure you purge that. The Chariot, though, is saying you can walk into victory this way. So you can prove to yourself that love is real, like you already know. But this is going to be a great period of victory with your self-control and discipline. And I always say Sagittarius. That's the only two signs that go back and forth. And then Aries as well is part of them too, but a different flavor. So, of course, you also get Innocence, where you can achieve that innocence of trust to where, you know, you can be innocent. You don't have to be so worried about your innocence getting betrayed. You can allow yourself to maintain that innocence. And not a lot of signs can have that. Sagittarius is one of those few signs that even if it gets robbed of them, they can develop it again because they are life and the life of the party. The Knight of Cups is talking about you being so much more, you know, spiritual with the way you express your feelings. So much more artistic at that as well. That makes sense about exorcism and exercise. Pain is weakness leaving the body, as some people say. But that's amazing. That's really amazing to know. I've never heard of exercise like that as well, to be honest. That's awesome. Oops. That was weird. That was really weird. All right, anyway. Next, we have the Earth tribe. Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, you're going to be calibrating your feelings and emotions. So this calibration at length is going to come through projecting your feelings so that you can get an awareness of how powerful they are. And some of you may have to tone it down because you're too emotional. Some of you may have to tone it up because you're not emotional enough. So Earth moons, Earth suns, Earth risings, this is going to really mean at a huge length, you have to express how you feel in situations where you don't want to. You're not expressing it to be correct or anything. You're expressing it to soundboard others. Projection. This is the one time you actually want to project, okay? And that projection is going to have much to do with how powerfully you can trust that what you're saying reflects very greatly into the meaning of why it's being expressed in the first place. This calibration is going to have much to do with what happens when you express and what happens when it bounces back. So for Taurus, what you're going to calibrate at length is your attitude and your mindset. How do you sit with your feelings, and how do you allow it to influence your mind and thoughts? This is going to be psychically very powerful for you, because this alone will help you learn how to adapt with the differences in opinion that occur. Okay? And the more golden you can keep these thoughts, the better. One of the things you want to take with you is love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. Okay? And you taking that as a key will help you fine-tune your attitude and calibrate that accordingly. Neptune will be in your 11th, however, and this is going to cause there to be some bit of fog. The 7 of Cups is helping you calibrate these feelings with a great deal of, how do I say it, creative visualization. So you mapping out this energy on its own, the thirst is real. You mapping out this energy on its own with your willingness and ability to see into the future with the energy is what's going to help you move forward. There is no community card. Good question. But yeah, you kind of seeing forth through this energy is going to help you calibrate your emotions with your imagination. So you want to kind of take advantage of the Taurus energy. With Pluto in your 9th, you don't have to do the purging with the fire, but allow your experience of these emotions to transform how you believe in these situations, so that you can gain the most to open. Ripeness is a great indicator that a lot of you playing the waiting game will literally benefit from, because a lot of the energy that you sparked off in Aries season is now ripening. Not even Aries season, like last year, or 6 months ago, when it was like Capricorn season. You're now ready to actually, like, you're now ready to actually reap on. So this is really talking about a lot of stuff, not that you've been working hard for, natural things that you've had, like they're finally ready to use. I can kind of relate to that too, because a lot of you were already ready. Oops. A lot of you were already ready, but you had to go through some extra ripening. And then the Page of Swords, of course, is talking about you gaining the truth. Near the beginning of the transit, someone's just going to fill you in to the truth. Someone around your age or younger than you, they're gonna make you hip. It's kind of like a kid that'll fill you in on the colloquial slang. But Virgo, for you, what you're going to be calibrating is who you can express your feelings to. This is going to let you express how you feel, and you're going to calibrate based off of how people react to you. Who takes it that extra level and who closes off. You're going to be doing calibrations colloquially around for where you are. And this is going to encourage you to really, more so than ever, go out and express how you feel, because this is what's going to let you know and calibrate more so where everyone's at. As an angel, you need to know where everyone's at right now, because if you just give everyone the same thing, that's the best way to cause chaos. I probably shouldn't have said that, because some of you want to cause chaos. It is. So we have slow down. Uranus is in your 8th house still. So this is really opening up a very spiritual chapter with the destiny in your 12th. Slow down. When you are excited, you get ahead of yourself. Take some time to allow things to fold, especially because a lot is coming into order for you with the Emperor, okay? And the organization that is needed to order a lot of what's being calibrated through the season will prepare you for this next spiritual chapter but will also prepare you for your own season when you really come into the awareness of all this. And what's even more important about all that is you want to really take advantage, more so than ever, the people you know, because those people who calibrate well with that, you can square that with Libra. Those are people you can manifest stuff with. Tell people your vision, because with Jupiter in your second, you can allow those people on your team to push forward stuff you need to manifest. Consciousness is definitely going to give you that mastery of what you are, and it's going to help you see things and understand things from a more personal and omniscient level. And the Ace of Wands is talking about this new moon sparking a lot of passion for you, very powerfully and very greatly. So congratulations as we move into Capricorn now. What you're going to be calibrating is directly. And because of the direct nature and because you have Pluto, you cannot hold back. Some of you can screw yourselves if you hold back. You have to really extend that Sun transit and be aware of how you feel towards others. And your Pluto has to be intensely real about it. And you're going to have to really calibrate not how intensely you can speak, but you have to calibrate who can handle it or not. So you do have like the 100 proof, but then you have the diluted. You have to hit everyone with the 100 proof. And the people who don't take it well, make a mental note of, and that's who you're going to give your diluted essence to, which is generic, which people should be able to withstand the 100 proof. But if they can't, that's disrespectful to you, because it's not that you're too much for people, it's that they're not willing to necessarily, you know, respect the higher order that you're kind of, you know, blessing them with or giving to them. Some of them are getting blessed though, some of them are getting straight up purged. Capricorn, you are the source of the purge right now too. So where you're kind of going is transforming things. And it's not going to be easy for some people, because some people are getting purged things that they've been holding on to for years. So the cards that we have for you, once again, like, was it Taurus? Love is all around you. There's love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this is truth. But with the 10 of Wands, you might not necessarily be in a position to see it, because you're going to be even more busy taking care of all these rods. You know, this is how you're going to come into success through the season. But just definitely know there's going to be a lot of responsibility that's added. But I mean, what is that to a Capricorn? That's common, right? The flowering, though, is through this hard work. Just like Taurus is going to be ripening, Capricorn, you're going to be flowering that bud on your crown so that you can finally experience this much greater, which required patience that is now paying off. And the Hierophant, of course, is speaking very profoundly of how well that you can organize and order this energy, but not like the Emperor, more so like the Hierophant, where you're establishing organization and status quo to where you're able to really read powerfully from the knowledge that comes from such. Water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. This is profound in the sense where we are in a position to identify the feelings you have, okay? So all the feelings you feel, you have to go deep within and identify what's truly you. And I'm talking about even those deep, dark feelings. Some of you may have deep feelings that are very messed up to have. You might have prejudice, racist feelings. You may have horrible feelings that are cynical and crazy. And if that's you, you have to acknowledge it. If it's not you, then you have to banish it. Anything that's not you must be banished and not identified with. Anything that's you, you have to embrace. Not even acknowledge, you have to embrace. Okay, before you logically understand why you're embracing it, you just kind of have to embrace. Okay, what you're going to do, Cancer, is carry forth this seasonal thing, because unfortunately, my friends, this Cancer season is involving Saturn and Sag and Neptune's in Pisces. So you're going to feel all this collectively, and you're not going to be able to explain this to anyone. You're going to be a lot more moody. So really kind of allow yourself to identify more so what feelings are yours and what aren't, that Pluto influencing your 7th is going to now, through the vehicle of other people, allow you at greater length and ability to purge this energy as you're emotionally projecting. So the reason why it's going to be tough is if you identify with what isn't you, when you just have to really be, even though you're tapping into collective, you got to just identify with yourself, which is a conundrum and a paradox. So good luck. Express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. We have the Devil card. So not only do we have the Devil card, we also have the Temperance card. So the dichotomy between moderation and obsession is going to be very prevalent and relevant. And you have to really mark what you identify on both sides. You have to go to that dark and get super horny because Mars is in your sign. You're going to attract a lot of stuff, but you have to make sure you alchemize this. And in between those two is sorrow. So in case you thought you were going to escape the feels, Cancer, you're going to get it first. Okay? You're going to get it first. Because when you're channeling the collective of all those feelings, there's certain deep, dark places that you cannot not feel. So keep that in mind. It's not the end of the world. All right? And really, you know, feel that sorrow through the Devil so you can alchemize it with the Temperance. All right? So know that when you alchemize the sorrow, you're gaining power. So that's the perks of it, okay? Scorpio, you're going to have to identify with everything that really inspires you to come into the meaning of these feelings. So you're doing a lot of identification, but what is the meaning and beliefs that you can gain? And the reason why I say the beliefs is because it's everything that you're going to express intensely so through your interactions with other people. It's everything that is going to transform your attitude with what comes to light based on how everyone feels. You have to identify what about that do you believe and what is just like garbage. Because what's going to happen is there are going to be people who think they understand their feelings, but they don't. And it's you that's going to see it, Scorpio. So you're going to help others identify it with their feelings as well. But it has to start with you first. Okay? Especially with Uranus in your 6th, revolutionizing the lifestyle you live. Perfect. So we do have romance. Lavish the one you love with your personal attention and affection. See that? They smiling. Then we have the World card. So there is a completion where you are going to be able to very powerfully reach great success. All right? And the reason why I know this is because the breakthrough card is talking about success that's long overdue. Scorpio rising, Scorpio moons, you're really going to hit that next level of evolution of your psychic ability with the moon card here. Okay? So your intuitions won't just be intuitions. You'll be feeling energetically more so the streams that govern this, drawing energy and gaining knowledge and wisdom. It's profound. All right, Pisces, what you're going to be identifying with is everything you love, everything that you feel and opens up your heart creatively. You want to express through this creative energy, all right, what it is that you love and what you identify with that with your heart. So how you're going to use this litmus test is if you love it, you identify with it. If you don't love it, you don't identify with it, okay? This is where I say negative, positive. Some of you may love some messed up stuff I'm not going to mention. And if that's you, you have to identify it. You don't even have to purge it. You have to identify it because this is helping you know who you are. Not everyone is a certain way. That's a lie that we all have to be a certain way. You have to embrace who you are. And forgiveness as well, even if that's forgiving yourself. Nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. No grudges. We have the 3 of Pentacles, okay? which is talking about teamwork and talking about you deriving skills creatively. So consciousness, which really bridges in very powerfully your awareness of what's going on around you. This is more a Piscean card than you think. And the Three of Wands is going to give you the onus to really make some long-term plans. Okay. So really keep that in mind, any goals that you have, because that's really what's going to open up profoundly. So finally, we have the air. Okay. Air, you're programming your feelings. And this programming of your emotions has a lot to do with your ability to not react the same way to certain feelings. Because you have the luxury of being in your mind when these feelings hit, like a tsunami wave, you want to, it's going to take a lot more work, but everything you feel, you want to program with your mind so that you're going to know how you're going to think when you feel it. Okay. And this in a short season is going to calibrate a whole lot, like the Earth is doing, but really program it at length. And I ran out of battery. We back, we still lit. So that being said, Gemini, what we have for you has much to do at great length with programming how you feel about who you are. When you program your self-esteem, what's going to purge is how intimate you get, because Gemini, Pluto is in your 8th house. And with Pluto in your 8th house, you're starting to release your dark side, okay? Your dark side is starting to get more powerful, and you have to surrender to the 8th house, okay? And it could be scary for some because you know you might hurt some people with this rudeness or dark side, but you have to, if it doesn't come out, you can't purge certain facets of it. So you need to program how you feel about what's said or what you say, so that everything that you feel and react to, you're programming yourself so you have the right attitude and great self-esteem with. Be present be in the present and dream of the future. Gemini rising especially, because Pluto will be in your 8th for sure. When we dream, everything is possible. Be in the present and dream of the future, which is going to have a lot to help with this emotional programming, because you can program how you're going to feel in certain situations, all right? Emotional programming isn't necessarily advised for everyone, because some people will advise that you need to feel your feelings. You're not supposed to manipulate it. This goes in for air signs, it goes in one ear and out the other, because we just stay programming our feelings. Like, we feel feelings are for the other tribes to feel, while we just fly high. Very arrogant, but anyway, Gemini, we have the Strength card. And the Strength card is talking about inner power, strength, and courage, really blessing you. I have a feeling this is going to be the influence of someone who kind of helps reflect the power you have by pushing you in those situations. The burden is going to be the challenge that allows you to really carry any oppositions and challenges, so that it rises up so you know what to program much better as well. All right. And the Four of Wands is talking about lots of results and lots of celebration. So Gemini is going to be great. Gemini rising, Gemini moon is talking about you kind of reaching a state of completion here. It's going to be very positive for you. Libra, this emotional programming is going to come very powerfully for how you react to how the world feels about you. Because the reason why Libra is one of those signs that cares a lot about what other people think, is because their caring is in the public house. So it gives them onus to really emotionally manipulate the whole world, which is gangster. But what you want to do is really emotionally program how you feel about how other people think. Okay, it's an extension of your self-esteem, but at a greater level. And you want to program how you emotionally react when you publicly express yourself. Because what this is going to do is purge the private expression of what you're experiencing. And Pluto in the fourth for Libra is not easy. This is like the hugest intensity coming within. And I love how I got the Magician and High Priestess. This is a great yin-yang fusion. Beyond fusion, this is talking about you gaining the masculine and the feminine, the real and the spiritual world realms, where everything you're manifesting and thinking as above, so below, you're also gaining the intuitive insight, which of course has lots of Temperance Archangel vibes. But what's also prevalent and relevant is the change, where you're carrying this force of destiny with Jupiter, all right, like a gangster boss. So really hop that wave of destiny and make sure you practice compassion. Make sure you see things from a different perspective, because what this is going to do for you, Libra, is a lot of this emotional projection is going to come from people gossiping about you. And you have to really stick to your own private perception of things so that you don't necessarily get way too knocked off guard, because they're just feelings at the end of the day, and they're not really as real as others may think. Aquarius, for you, what you're going to be programming is the feelings that you feel in your lifestyle. You're going to be doing the most programming work, because you have to program your emotions so that you know how you feel at every point of your routine and what you're doing. This is behavioral, and it has a lot to do with really programming how you feel with coworkers, if you even have coworkers, okay? So this is gonna come more indirectly because you're a higher sign, as opposed to like someone like Gemini that has to hands-on do it, because Cancer is higher than Gemini, higher than Cancer. So a lot of this, just like Libra is higher than Cancer. So you two, you guys, this is gonna be indirect. All right, you just want to have the conscious will to still program this. The Queen of Swords is talking about your intellect being sharp and you being in a position to operate from the highest mental faculty. And it's so interesting that we have nothingness, nothingness. See what I did there? I didn't even interpret that. Then we have the Tower card, because it all crashes down. And it's going to, as you program these emotions, crash certain elements of your lifestyle that needed to be broken down so you can build them up again. And it has a lot to do with romance, all right? Lavish the one that you love with your personal attention and affection. All right. Whew, that was a lot of energy right now. Before we go into the banishment part and the purging collectively, I'm going to pull one more card for everyone. And one thing that you want to start doing with every action that you take, this will take longer than some of you already do this naturally. With every action that you take, you have to have conscious willpower. This is the first card that I have for everyone. So before you do anything, you need to channel your energy. So before I call someone on the phone, before I walk, before I take step, I'm going to do it with my aura. Like if I just pull a card, it's going to give me something. But if I charge my energy, I have my intention and focus my will, and then I pull a card, I'm using the principles of aura, and it's gonna be more potent. So practice doing, that's one thing I want to leave you with. Practice doing a whole lot of that with focused intention of your feelings. Cardinal with your feelings instead of just going with your aura, okay, or with just your actions. Practice doing that even as I'm shuffling the cards. See how I have to slow down now because now I'm having to bring my psychic energy. There'll come a time where I can go fast, but like, you know, you just need to feel it. Ooh, thank Goddess. So everyone, okay. So everyone has love is all around you, okay? There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this is true. We have the Ace of Cups. There's a new cycle of love, and this is new psychic intuition that you're breaking through. So a lot of you, through this, you're going to break through into new avenues of the heart. Some of you, you're going to really be with the one. You're going to come into you being the one, that someone is going to attract you, all right? Don't look at it this time as you're going to find the one. Someone's going to find you and be like, you're the one. And this is important because it's your focus that's going to help you break through, all right, with this new love from your heart, okay? Very important, with love that you channel from love all around you, all right? Really keep this in mind as you bring see, it's going to be hard for me because I have Mars and Aries and Gemini, so I'm already moving and I have to like calm down and then move forward. Some of you, you already do this, so it's going to be even easier for you. But yeah, keep that in mind. Oh, nice. So let's start with the purging process. And then we're going to move into the Q&A. So we'll start and go down the zodiac. Everybody kind of calm down, and I want you to envision and picture Pluto on your third eye. We'll start with Aries. Aries, I want you to purge profoundly everything about who people think you are and who the world sees you as that is not you. Everything that you allow authority figures or father figures to keep you suppressed. I want you to feel that, and I want you to picture it crumbling. Everyone else in the live chat, I want you to see the Aries symbol and see the Pluto in your third eye, projecting it to that sign so that we can also assist them in this process. For those of you who are watching this webinar while it's not live, I invite you to still assist in this because you'll still be gathering the energy that we're building up for you now that we're live. So Aries, we're gonna do this 1 minute and we'll go to the next sign, okay? So keep focusing, keep feeling that. We don't want to do more than 1 minute because Pluto is super intense and it might be overkill. Overkill, okay? And of course, with everything, really feel that crumbling. Don't look for a quick fix, though. Don't feel like it's supposed to be done with the feeling. This is just the beginning process so that the rest of the Cancer transit can soak its water and wash it away. Taurus, it is your turn. What you want to purge are any false beliefs about the greatness of who you are. Anything that causes you to see less of yourself, purge it. And on top of that, anything that doesn't allow you to freely express yourself intimately. But more so, let's not even get astrological into this. Taurus, I want you to now focus on any pent-up feelings that are bogging down, and we're going to send the purge. So everyone picture the Taurus glyph. Brown Brujita felt that intensity. There we go. So Taurus, let's go. And as we're purging with you, feel it, because what happens when you feel it, it brings it in your energy makeup, and then as we're projecting it, it's purging it. So you just feeling it is evoking it. and intoning it while we purge. Keep your focus on beliefs because Pluto is strongest there. And if you don't remember the glyphs, it's all good. Just think of the sign. Gemini, what you're purging is the seals or the energy getting in the way of you connecting intimately. So feel anything that blocks you, or just start to feel, for every sign that we roll call, just start to feel the depth. Feel any feelings that you feel you want to purge. Feel anything that needs to die. And we will help purge this for you. Anything that you've been suppressing or gets you in your feels, bring it up. Cancer, it is now your turn. Really gather up these deep feelings. They don't even have to be negative feelings, but just bring up the feelings, because the cleansing process through Pluto will purify and purge and purify. Especially regarding feelings of people in relationships you're with. Keep in mind, these sun zodiac signs or moon arisings are holding space for us, because as you're purging them, it's also purging that spot in your chart. So we're all getting the 12 signs around an omni purge. Leo, it is now your turn. Feel yourself sinking into your feelings and just evoke them. Evoke the feelings that bring pain to you and that bring sorrow. But not feel it, feel real things that kind of trigger this, so that can be purged. Virgo, it is it you? Virgo, it is now your turn. Evoke these feelings, if you have any, and let us purge, purge, purge. Ashley B, yes, super intense. We're channeling the most intense energy. After this, we have to ground because we are invoking Pluto. So if we don't ground, it can transform way more than we're ready for. For effect, some of you could really even feel this purging taking place. Whew. Nice. Only one way to find out, Queen Deji. And Libra, it is now your turn. Really feel this intensely because Pluto is squaring you, so you don't want to hold anything back, cardinal signs. This is your time to really let it out. And I mean, I'm only giving y'all a minute. It's going to take some of y'all way more than a minute to do this. So if you have to sit with it, just sit with it. All right, for real. Alrighty. Hi. All right, Scorpio. Now it's your turn. Scorpio, it's pretty easy for you to go deep, so do what you normally do. Damn. This Scorpio and is purging all of us. Sit with the intensity, guys. We can do it. We can do it. We got this. All right, Sagittarius. It is now your turn. Yeah, that Scorpio one was intense. All right, Capricorn. It is now your turn to get this purging. You have Pluto on your sign, so. All right, Aquarius. Come get this purge. Don't worry, Matt. We're going to clear it. It is very heavy energy. I agree. And finally, Pisces. All right, let's evoke Venus, Jupiter, and the moon. Feel those three circling around you, leftward motion, and sprinkling you with their energy. And then feel all that heaviness grounding down out to the earth. Okay. The numerology of 22 or 222 is the energy manifesting, and what you're thinking being manifested is the reality. But yeah, 22 in the house, that's what it do. All right. So thank you all for the heavy, hardcore spiritual work that we've done. Don't necessarily expect to see what it has done, because by the full moon in Capricorn, you will feel it. So join me again in the full moon in Capricorn webinar, where we're going to take this energy we're building and release this. I will now open up the next 15 minutes for Q&A. And if I don't answer your question, I have the email here. Oops. And yeah, if you're like Nicole, you're gonna feel it now. So just know it's gonna get even more intense. So what we did was emotionally calibrate ourselves to really prepare. We protected ourselves, and now I want you to walk towards every situation and heal people that you can. But if you see them suffering, let them suffer, because that's also healing them. All right, most important thing. So make sure some of y'all get good rest as well, and really, 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 really pay attention to your dreams, because we have just kind of set the stage for you. Thank y'all that really gained a lot from this. This was a very potent, as some of you can feel, and I have y'all to thank for that, because what we did was we healed the world. So I want you to pat yourself on the back. I hope I don't make you feel patronized. Like, really do congrat yourself, because you were a part of a very potent world healing. I'm going to do this again the next time I go live so that I can take more advantage of the numbers. But we did the more potent work here. Okay. I'm going to make sure every transmission for Cancer season we do healings, because the psychic warfare is too powerful. But yes, my friends, if your question does not get answered, just make sure you email me, and keep it just one question, of course, per person, just so that we can all get these answered. And if not, that's totally fine. You don't even have to ask if you have nothing to ask. So, oops. I'm trying to get you right here. Woo! Woo! What we did was profound. What we did was amazing. Whether you're watching live or not, congratulations. Yes, D, I would love to pull a card. Biggest tip on psychic attack is to be a gangster and fight back. When you feel that psychic attack, right? When you feel that psychic attack, Nicole, that's real. I feel you on that. When you feel that psychic attack, you have to react. You have to know it's being projected, and you have to alchemize it, okay? Don't be a victim to psychic attack. Fight back, and you are more than powerful. This in and of itself has prepared you. D, the card we have is Justice. So things are going to really balance out for you very powerfully. You're going to really be in a position to really gain fairness or not through this. How does one ground if they have 0 fire in their chart? You don't ground with fire, actually. You ground with earth. Fire is supposed to give you passion. So even if you had 0 fire, you just ground. You don't. The element will just kind of add to the proficiency. But if you had 0 earth, you can still ground. You would have to, because you don't have enough grounding energy, you have to ground more. So just ground the same way everyone does. So good question. Very good question. Nicole, the card that I have for you is the 4 of Cups. So you said you can't conceptualize a question. Really just contemplate, because you took in a lot of energy. So this is a Moon in Cancer card. Over the next day and a half, just let yourself contemplate how you feel about things. You might be emotionally withdrawn. You're going to probably turn down a lot of opportunities. no worries. Okay, just kind of let this flow. Will I finally get the closure for my twin flame? You don't get closure from twin flames. Twin flame relationships are eternal. And that person may not really be your twin flame. That person may just be your soulmate who's helping you tap into the twin flame vibration. So closure is an illusion. You can't have closure because you're immortal and you're going to live together. You're probably going to meet this person in another lifetime. So you're going to have closure now, and then he's going to see you later. Like, you're literally like saying bye to someone who you're going to walk out the door with, and then it's all awkward. So you might just have to let things go. I know you have a Capricorn too, so since it's not really that easy to have to like just let go and deal with. Yes, you can have a card. Oh, how does this tie up to the square? Oh, I'm sorry. If it's a square between Scorpio, that means you're suppressing what you need to clap back on. So don't really feel so bad that you're arguing. Spiritual warfare. Let them gaslight you, but you just have to speak your truth and you'll be good, especially since it's in the 3rd house. Katie, the card that I have for you is the 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is saying, especially with this ritual, everything's just going to like, all your blockages are going to move out. This is a breakthrough card. So congratulations. Things are just going to move fast, so make sure you're in a valuable position to receive. Kimmy Cat, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this grounding is really going to help facilitate very powerfully your ability and your awareness so that you're able to really be more reliable and deal with people who are more reliable as well. Annie, the card that I have for you is the 7 of Swords. So use your intuition, because people are going to be sneaky and try to get information from you. They're going to try and act like they care about your day, but they're going to ask you certain things so that they can get certain stuff they want to know. So make sure you'll know who they are. Trust that intuition that lets you know. Matt McDaniel, we have the Ace of Wands. So this is talking about a very profound spark that you're going to be able to use to take your fire to create any passionate manifestation. It's like a magic wand. It's a very potent, and it's an ace, so congratulations. It's going to be really sizzling. Rocio, the card that I have for you is the Page of Pentacles. Definitely working on your beauty is helping, but let the seeds that are planted for you quite profoundly work on its own. Be in a position to be receptive to what you're learning about in a practical sense, okay? Can you pull a card for me regarding my twin? Yes and no. I'm going to pull the card for you. The King of Cups is saying that you want to be compassionate, but this is kind of more the Haragami talk I'm saying. Nobody has a twin. You can be a twin. And I like to say, if you know a Gemini, they can be your twin, but that's just kind of reflexive. The King of Cups is saying that this is whoever you're dealing with right now, and is helping you emotionally be more compassionate and understand your feelings. But yeah, as far as your soulmate, if you don't know who this is, it's going to be the King of Cups. But whoever kind of has that, it's saying it's not really even saying like what to do. It's just really speaking on you reflecting this by being more compassionate and being more patient. Tiffany, the card that I have for you is also the King of Cups, where because this is a Scorpio card, so the 8th house intensity, you have to continue to be connected to your emotions, but just be compassionate and understand where this is coming from. This is someone who has mastery over their feelings, so that's what this intensity is going to help you gain, mastery. All right, Brown Brujita, the card that we have. Yeah, Jay said during meditation, envision roots coming out from your feet for grounding, for the person who asked about grounding. Brown, we have the 8 of Cups. So you're going to have to walk away from certain things that you've invested in emotionally that you probably expected to experience. And definitely make sure you're in the ability to do so. And this is a spiritual quest that you're going to gain a lot of goodies from. All right. Pluto is transiting my 12th house, where Neptune is conjunct Uranus. Dude, that's like supernatural power awakening. This happened to me earlier in my 8th house. I think this was back in 2013, 2014. When Pluto goes over Uranus, you have a sense of freedom that you need, and rebellion, where you just start to wake up to stuff. But it's in your 12th house, dude. So this is where like you're gonna have the omniscience, the lucid dreams, but it's in Capricorn. So it's all a slow, gradual progress until you have your Saturn return. But Pluto is unleashing and awakening this right now. Very huge. I got Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, and Cancer. How is this going to change for me? Well, the change has already happened, but because you're having all these returns, this is going to energize and align you with the power you've returned, and it's going to shift forward with you. So you're going to open doors. The Hermit card is going to say, go with your inner wisdom as well. Go with what you trust and be in a position to where you actually, even if you have to isolate yourself, stay true to yourself. And it's very dope because you're going to gain a lot of inner wisdom that comes from you and that you don't have to read from books. Nasia, we have the 6 of Wands. So everything in your life is going to come into victory, and you're going to move forward with a whole lot of powerful and strong support. You're going to get a lot of credit for the work you've done as well, which is always important. Ashley B, the card that we have for you is the Empress card. So your goddess, your inner goddess, and your goddess is rocking, like you as a goddess. And if you're not pregnant with a child, the ideas that you really birth are going to really lead to your harvest. This is a really good card to pull. So there's really look into the beauty that's going to be brought out. Chrissy, the powerful message we have for you is the 4 of Swords. This is Jupiter and Libra. So the rest that you're doing is cumulative, and you're going to come into a greater phase of mental relaxation. No more social anxiety, actually. The Jupiter and Libra transit, now that it's direct, is finally going to really bring so much more mental restoration to you, and that's really great. Okay. Tabitha, the card we have is the Hierophant. So really allow yourself to be in a position to come into much greater, the higher knowledge you're doing. This isn't the time to be a rebel, but the work you do to kind of listen to the rules will do you right, because the higher knowledge aligns with your path right now. Lulu, the card we have for you is also the Hierophant, which is very relevant to you because this has a lot to do with the organization and the church, if anything, that is being built. So I kind of see this as it now being, it now kind of coming into its fullness, which is always powerful, and a lot of higher knowledge kind of like coming in its own. Toby asks, please, when you say resetting the image, I have so much information that I've been holding in about people close to me who have hurt me. How do I make it through? You just answered your question. You're holding it in. And if you don't know how to make it through, you do know how to make it through, but you know how hard it's going to really like be. What you have to do is not going to come without a fight. And you're holding people close to you that's hurt you. You may know you have to let them go. You may know you have to actually, give up certain things and literally kill them. I'm getting it all for you. You don't have to like kill them, but like you have to be in a position to where you purge this and let that sorrow come out, but kind of, you know what I'm saying? Be in that position to where you don't let it hurt you anymore. And that's why you want to hold on to the pain, but you want to let it go, and you have to let it go. So Becky, the card that we have for you, Lovers, you heal others with your passion and love. Align your mind and your heart, and really love, but this isn't agape love. This is sexual. You can heal people with that passion to inspire them to really be a lot more outward with that energy. Life misspelled, we have the Death card. Snip, snip, snip. Snip, 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 snip. Yes, Toby, you really just got to be gangster. That's why I'm keeping everyone in the warfare mind state. Life misspelled, death is saying purge what needs to be purged, but you're going to go through even more intense transformation than before. So congratulations. I don't see this as anything you have to do. I see this as long overdue. All right. Ether, Gnosis, Aries, Lovers. That's all I'm gonna say. Aries, Lovers. Maya, the card that I have for you. Oh, interesting, Annie. I didn't even notice that. Is the Temperance. So make sure you bring more moderation. People may make you feel like you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. Do all of it, but make sure it's in moderation. There's nothing that's too bad to do. Just make sure it's in moderation, it's in order, and it's in control. Thank you once again very much for ordering this webinar, and join me again in the full moon in Capricorn webinar, where we're going to be in an even greater position to gather up this energy. That's what we're doing. We're gathering up very potent psychic energy that we're going to release and come into more power than ever before. I hope you really did enjoy from this, and I look forward to hearing what we've unlocked, because what this ceremony did was unlock deep feelings, okay? And it's time to harness that. And may you succeed in this warfare, like I know you will. Peace.